Hello, bros. We're back with more books. This is my rather small haul from yesterday. I think it's only 10 books. 11 books? Yeah, 11 books. Don't mind me as I scratch my hand and shake the fuck out of the camera. The Secret of Mirror House by Patricia Maxwell. Very gothic looking cover. Two offers of marriage promised sanctuary. Both men said they loved her. One of them lied, but which one? Probably the one she chose. The choice, Amelia Harveston, was very young, very beautiful, and very alone. The invitation to come and live with her cousins at Mirror House, the plantation home, built by her grandfather, appeared a welcome refuge from the loneliness and poverty that faced her when her mother died. Amelia dreamed of being part of a warm, loving family, but from the moment she set foot in Mirror House, her dream began to twist itself into a macabre confrontation with evil. Evil! She tried to understand the strange and cruel games her cousins liked to play, but she could not and she dared not confide in any of them. Not James, whose boyish charm beguiled her, nor Nelville, whose cold warnings alternating with tender concern fascinated her, nor the others who silently resented her. Then the accidents began, and Amelia knew she had become the target for the hate that infested the house. Barbara Michaels' Witch. Preferred like a first edition of this, but then again, I did see one of Barbara Michaels' 1970s or 80s novels, and for some reason I put it back, even though it was kind of cool looking in a gothic romance kind of way, but probably never get to it anyways. But this black cat epitomizes the stupidity of this edition. Glowing eyes. A silent stranger moves in twilight shadows. It was more than her dream house. For Ellen March, buying the secluded old house nestled in the pine woods marked the start of a new life. Now she could put her failed marriage behind her, enjoy the quiet solitude of small town life, and get to know her worldly new neighbor, handsome Norman McCabe. All right, that's all I have to hear. This book I got not because I like death metal, but just because it was a weird book. I think it's Korean. I could be wrong. I'm guessing it's Korean. That's my instinct that it's Korean. It could be anything, but that's what I feel like it's Korean. War Bestial Black Metal Guidebook. I saw one of these listed on eBay, but I've seen no copies sold, but I still bought it just because I don't know what the fuck it is. Yeah, heavy metal black. What is this? Let's look at this chart. Heavy metal, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Occult, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, First Wave, Black Metal, Sodom, Hellhammer, Bathory, Sabbath, whatever the hell it says. So yeah, it's just like a book of metal, death metal, fucking with Korean subtitles. Not subtitles, but Korean text. I don't know what any of it is. Interesting. World's Shortest Stories, edited by Steve Moss. Now, I have several books on microfiction and sudden fiction and all that kind of short fiction. And this fits in there with it. Murder, love, horror, suspense, all this and much more in the most amazing short stories ever written, each one just 55 words long. For my mother, Harry Walter Moss. I used to actually write little short stories that were short. The once and future beach. Oh, Mama, Larry said, look at that babe. Perfectly shaped breasts, said Jim. And what a tan. God, I love girls in bikinis. A bronze college boy lying nearby whispered, Jerry, listen to those fat old guys. Yeah, guess they've got nothing better to do than, oh, Mama, Tim. Would you look at that, babe? That's awful. At an appealing party, he refused to be married without her. He checked his watch again. You think she'll come? Sure, I spoke to her answering machine. He paced. I'm only doing this once. She better show. Relax, she'll make it. Then they heard cheers and whistles outside. The stripper entered, smiling. Hi, guys. The bachelor party could begin. That, too, is awful. In the garden. It also looks like there's a moisture exposure to this book. Maybe it's just my damp-ass basement. No words left. And the ordeal. She hated them. All of them. Their masked hid not their glee as their groping hands held her down for him. The pain and blood were unbearable. Still he persisted, forcing her. Her screams only encouraged him. She knew not to deliver meant certain death. Finally, satisfied, he said, It's a boy. These are awful. The poetic denouement is egregious. A photographer's regrets. Looking back now, I see you swaddled in white sheets, your hair hopelessly tangled, and your necklace faintly glinting gold between your breasts. Telltale picture, the manifest image of all my desires in sharp focus and staring back at me. God, how I wish I'd never tripped the shutter. Sometimes it's better to forget. These are ghastly. Storm by George R. Stewart. Never heard of this until yesterday. But it seems interesting. It seems to be a story in how many days? 12th day, basically. Less than a fortnight. It's got some value too. Probably a $10 book on eBay. I may sell it. I may read it. I may do both. 1947. No dust jacket, so of course that hurts its value. Model boards. Wicked Women of Detroit. Tobin T. Buke. Wonder if Clara Ward's in here. This one's pretty hot. Madames, Malls, and Femme Fatales. See if Clara Ward is in there. While this book was sitting, the hidden cemetery. For 3 years, a wicked secret lay hidden in the darkness under the crawl space of a small frame house in Dwyer Street. Discovery of the hidden grave site would drag into the daylight Detroit's Lady Bluebird. While I was sitting in the basket, some woman walked up and was looking at my books, and I had to tell her, those are mine. But you can have everything else in the store. And she looked at about 2 more books and then walked away. So that was that. She only wanted this book. I should have just gave it to her, but I needed it more than I needed her approval. What's this say? A coven? A coven of wicked Detroiters. $2018. Anyway, I got about 5 or 6, maybe not 5 or 6, but at least 3 or 4 of these books in the Wicked, Washtenaw, Wayne County, those kind of deals. Series, so I have that. Revolution's End. The Patty Hearst Kidnapping, Mind Control, and the Secret History of Donald DeFreeze and the SLA by Brad Schreiber. Revolution's End fully explains the most famous kidnapping in U.S. history, detailing Patty Hearst's relationship with Donald DeFreeze, known as Sink, head of the Symbionese, I don't know how to say it, Liberation Army. Not only did the heiress have a sexual relationship with DeFreeze, While he was in prison, she didn't know he was an informant and a victim of prison behavior modification. He was molded by the CIA. Listen, the whole fucking hippie movement was CIA. Everything that happens in this country is controlled by the CIA. When you believe that, you understand everything. You understand. Just like the Trump assassination attempt. Clearly a CIA operation. A Witch's Guide to Ritual, Spellcraft, and Shadow Work. Embracing the Moon by Yasmin Galen Norn. It's nice. Actually, really good cover. I think I already have this book, but it was 49 cents, so I wasn't about to pass it up. Doesn't smell, buddy. It's got a nice fresh. Most of these books either smell like fucking sandalwood or a hooker's butthole, but this one, fresh book. Nice cover. Wicca, a guide for the solitary practitioner. Scott Cunningham. Includes author's book of shadows. I have several copies of this book, and I usually buy them all when I see them, unless they're in really bad shape. But never read them. Just own them in case witches happen to come over and need some advice. Widdenshins. Oh yeah, I saw that before. Widdenshins. Anti-clockwise motion. Clockwise? Anti-clockwise motion, usually used in the northern hemisphere. Can't read anymore. I need to go eat some foods. Prodigal Daughters, Susanna Rowson's Early American Women by Marion Rust. Yeah, I don't know who's included in this, but we shall see, I guess. Charlotte Temple, What Thinks Your Father of the Present Times, representing Rowson, Feel Right, Daughters of America. Was this a 60 center? Yeah. Soulmate, Rosamund Smith. This cover was too creepy not to get it. Rosamund Smith made a more than promising debut as a suspense novelist with Lives of the Twins. Now she establishes herself with one of the most shattering psycho thrillers in recent years, a novel that shows at every riveting, unexpected turn the hand of a master. We know almost at once that Colin Ash, who has come to an elegant and very respectable Boston suburb to stay with his aunt and uncle, is a killer. We see him kill with fiendish efficiency and see how easily he escapes detection. What we don't know, and the question gives the novel its almost unbearable suspense, is whom he will kill next. A casual stranger or beautiful and gentle Dorothea Deverell? She is the one he has chosen, unbeknownst to her, to be his soulmate. And it follows then inevitably as death that he will kill for her. Soulmate is a rarity among thrillers. We are not only frightened by the horrific tale that unfolds in its stunning pages, we also believe in its overpowering reality. It's in really good shape. Nice cover. I don't think it's worth very much, but I like the cover. Kind of reminds you of a Klimt, Gustav Klimt character. Maybe it is. What's the cover art say? What's it say for cover art? Come on. Nothing. It says it on the back jacket. Jacket art, Eric Dinier. Alright, that's all, bruvs.